12 hours, 22 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.
Hello, my name is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show, and we're limping along here. I try to do an upload of a video from my cell phone because we have no internet access. We haven't had any since Thursday, and the cable providers said we might get to you Sunday. So I thought, I've been moping around, depressed. It's amazing how you could get so dependent on certain things. The good news is we have electricity, so we can kind of limp along. And I'm attempting to do right now a little short video upload via my cell phone to YouTube to kind of tell you what's going on. I don't know if that's going to be successful or not, but anyway, to get out of my little pity party, I decided to go ahead and start making some videos, which I can still do, but I just can't upload them. And today we're going to kind of compare old school with new school. This is a request from one of my subscribers, is to compare the realistic Radio Shack DX-302, which is really old school, probably one of the first digital hybrid radios, desktop radios, and then compare that to the Grundig 750, which has been out for a few years, and see how they compare. And what the heck, we'll just try it. It's Saturday morning, and it's 8:24 Eastern Daylight Time here in Florida. Don't know how good conditions are. We're just gonna take a shot at it. Right now, I've got the two radios tuned to WWV at 15 megahertz, which is pretty good this time of day. Usually, we're getting early morning. I can get early morning. I can get 5 megahertz, and then I can get 10 megahertz, and then as the day progresses, I can get 15. And then, of course, each band has their own characteristics depending on weather conditions. And right now, it's pretty overcast here in Florida. So let's give it a try. So right now, I've got the DX-302 tuned to 15 megahertz. And the good news is my little mod fix patch for my tuning knob, because the gear cracked, and I kind of glued it back together. It seems to be holding up, so we'll keep our fingers crossed. Here we go. Let me turn the volume back up. And I'm right on 15 megahertz, so that's why it was blinking there, because it's ready to switch, trying to switch down in frequency. Let me turn the volume up and shut up. Let's see, is it getting, yeah, it's getting near the minute, so we'll wait. There we go, there's the change in tone, 15 seconds before the minute.
12 hours, 26 minutes, Coordinated Universal Time.
Okay, so it's doing pretty good, and I am using my G5RV antenna through an antenna switch to switch it between the two radios. So we're going to go over to the Grundig, and keep in mind there's quite a distance, like 6 inches or so between the DX-302 and the Grundig as far as the webcam's microphone. So you may notice some difference in the audio level from that. So let's turn it up, and we'll switch the antenna over. See, I've got nothing right now, so we'll switch the antenna over to it.
At the tone, 12 hours, 27 minutes. Coordinated Universal Time.
Boy, that was coincidental. I hit it right there on the minute. Now, one thing that's bothering me, I had just moved this radio up from my workshop because I had repaired it and then I just kind of set it aside. One thing that's bothering me right now is the S meter is not doing anything, where the Grundig is showing about an S9. So I'm not sure what that's about. The S meter had been working okay. You never know when you open something up. So, okay, moving on. So comparing those two, that particular station on the two radios, I would say the Grundig is a little clearer and a little stronger. And of course the Grundig radio itself has a great sound. So it's got that nice, strong, deep sound, where the Radio Shack is a little tinny. I do have it on narrow band filter here, and I've got it on, I've got it on narrow here on the Grundig. Let me just switch the filter and see how much difference that makes. Of course, mostly we're hearing tick, tick, tick. Okay, we basically get more static when I go to wide on the Grundig. That's a good signal using narrow. So let's come back here. I'll switch the antenna again. And I'm sorry for kicking the microphone, so I have to reach pretty far over. Turn the volume back up. Okay, now this radio's gotten quite a bit weaker. And this does have a pre-selector, which I have tuned for the strongest signal. I don't know what's the deal on my S meter there. Hello, it's gone. I'll go to the wideband filter. Lots more noise. Signal level goes way up, but it's lots more noise. So let's try a different frequency. Let me think about this. Let's see what's on this band and above, 15 megahertz and above. So I turn the volume back up, and we'll start tuning. Well, that's something bleeding over. Oh, one thing I'll note is, since we don't have cable, we don't have any TV, internet access, I've been listening to the AM band, which I normally don't listen to, but I was listening to it to get the news, local news, and AM stations this past couple of days have just been booming in. So something weird is going on, and I noticed when I did a scan, let the Grundig radio do a scan of the HF band, it found a bunch of stations down in the lower frequencies, like 2 point something megahertz to 4 megahertz. And what it was is a couple of strong AM stations bleeding in. So some weird things are going on down in that band the past couple of days. So anyway, so let's go back up here. I don't know what this is. It's kind of muffled. I'm thinking it might be that AM station. Now that sounds like single sideband. Let's see if we can tune it. We'll try upper first. Whoa. It's always fun trying to tune single sideband. Whoa. that down. See, we're still at 15, so I shouldn't have changed pre-selector too much. And then my S meter, oh, it moved. It's moving now. Yeah, there it went. So the S meter is working. I don't know what that's all about. Let me switch over to, whoa, I get rid of that sound. Let's switch over to the Grundig. And we've got to switch the antenna, of course. And we're at 1504. Yeah, there's something strong there. Pretty clear. Whoops, I got to turn that music off. Pretty clear on the Grundig. Let's go back to this guy and see if we can tune it in. And it was AM, so I don't need to have it on single sideband. So let's go back to AM. Turn the volume up. Yeah, there it is. I don't know what that is. Oh, I got a music. I have to cut that off. But it's something coming in very strong, and it appears to come in again a little stronger and a little clearer on the Grundig. Now keep in mind, this particular DX-302 is, I don't know how many years old, but it's, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years old. And it's, to my knowledge, because I got it used, to my knowledge, it's never been tuned. It's not been recapped, new capacitors. So it's the original, I think, as far as I know. And it doesn't have any signs of bad capacitors, you know, with an AC hum in it. There is no AC hum. So, and like I say, as far as I know, all the components are the originals. And the S meter now is working, thank goodness. And that, let me change the filter. A little bit of in and out. Let me tweak up the pre-selector. No, it's peaked. Whoa, I keep forgetting to not play music. So it's doing pretty good there, and like I said, this is 1504. I don't know what that could be, what frequencies that could be. Look it up later maybe and see if I can find it. So that's doing pretty good. Let's move on up the band. Gosh, we're up to 12 minutes and I haven't even done much. Let's get off of that. There's a strong station. 15.105. Again, I don't have a listing, so I don't know what that is, and my memory's no good, so I can't remember. So let's dial in 15.105 over here. Oops, went past it. And then we'll switch the antenna, and we'll turn this volume down all the way. Turn this one up.
Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will address the press conference at her official Bhavan residence on Monday on the occasion of her just completed Indonesia visit. The press conference is scheduled at 4 p.m.
Again, the Grundig is doing a little better. It's not significant. I mean, you know, could be just the cable to the antenna connection. That could be the difference, but it does appear the Grundig is a slightly better. I'm going to call it a wash. So they're both doing pretty good. Let's change bands. They're both doing pretty good in that band. Let's go down to 9 megahertz. Let me see if my mod is still, or my patch is still working. 13, 12, 9, you take that, 9. Okay. Let's do 9 over here since we have the antenna connected to it. It's nice to be able to just punch in the frequency. Okay, let's do a little tuning here. Maybe we can get channel radio. A lot of lightning crashes you can hear on the radio. It's not visible. Can't notice it locally, but there is some storms apparently. I think that's channel radio, and I have to turn it off because it's music, and it's about 3/4 scale on the S meter. 9.395. 9.395. Now the one thing, even though there's no keypad on this old realistic radio, it does have that band or dial where you can dial in the megahertz, so you can get through the shortwave band pretty fast, and then you use this guy which can tune pretty fast to get the finer tuning. Okay, so let's switch it over and turn the volume up. 9395. I'm not getting anything. Oh, I know why. Yeah. Let me go back to this pre-selector. Pre-selector is good and bad. It's good because it helps to peak up the signal on the particular frequency you're wanting to listen to. The bad part, every time you do a major change in the frequency, you have to redial in the pre-selector. And in this case, I even have to change the band. And you notice this is where I left off, which was 15 megahertz. I'm not getting anything on the radio. So we'll see what happens when I get it tuned in on the pre-selector. So let's go up to the band, which is 4.5 to 12 megahertz. And then we'll dial it in looking for something around 9 megahertz. So that would be this band. And I turn the volume down as the signal gets stronger. Turn the volume down some more. Oops, too much. 8 megahertz, 9. See the S meter come up. 9.3. Right about there. Turn the volume back up. Tune it in there. Whoa. There it is. A little bit down in the mud. Okay, it's pretty much down. Did I change the? Yeah, I got the antenna changed. But it's pretty much down in the mud. Getting a lot of noise on this band. Yes, look at the S meter. It's up there about a 3. Actually, about a 4. So I'm not getting the signal too good. So let's switch back to the Grundig and see if it's doing a better job of pulling that in.
To find a job, Dr. Stanley addressed
Whoa.
common hindrance with insightful believers.
That's loud and clear there. Yeah, there's nothing. That signal is perfect. There's no noise. It's perfect. 9.395, maybe China radio, maybe. Don't know for sure. Don't have my listing. So let's switch back for a second. See if I did anything wrong. I got the RF gain on both radios at max. No, still pretty weak. It's a little better now. Kind of muddy. Let's go to wideband. If I go to wideband, quiet. If I go to wideband, I can understand the audio, somebody talking, better, but the noise creeps in. And let me just see. No, that's about the best it's going to be. So on this frequency, and that's one thing about radios, they will give you varying results depending on the frequency. And so maybe this particular frequency or area, 9 megahertz area, is not tuned as well inside this radio. Maybe that's one of the circuits that's deteriorated. But definitely the Grundig is having no problem with that signal. It's coming in loud and clear. This one is, I've got a good S meter reading, but I'm getting a lot of noise. I'm even now that I'm in wideband, I'm even hearing 2 stations. Getting better. Now this radio has no oh gee, this video has gone so long, it's my time for my weather station to tell me what the temperature is. What I was getting ready to say is this radio has no tone control, and where the Grundig has a bass and treble individual control, of which I didn't touch, and so that I can't improve this signal except using the narrow and wide band filter. That's all I can do for it. Some people have suggested that when you get a strong signal and it's a little distorted, turn the RF gain down. Doesn't seem to help any. As a matter of fact, the RF gain didn't appear to be linear. Is when I start turning it down from 10 to 6, I didn't notice any change, and then when I got to 6, the signal just went away. So again, I'm not sure what that's all about. So we're going to try one more band, and then we're going to call it quits because we're up to 22 minutes already. And we'll go down to 5 megahertz. Uh-oh. I think I had a fail. My megahertz dial is not working anymore. I guess I broke it. So my temporary fix has failed. Which is kind of strange because, let me turn it down. It's kind of strange because it was working fine, and I tuned down to 9 megahertz, and that's where I wanted to stop. And then I went back to it just now to tune down further, and now it's not working in either direction. So my little temporary fix has given up the ghost. Nope. Now there we go. Now it's went down to 8. So it's apparently slipping again. Yep. So I guess I'm going to have to. Whoops! I didn't mean to turn it off. I guess I'm going to have to take a suggestion that a couple of people sent me, is to get some gears that were made for I think model RC radio control cars. I think they were made for, and apparently there's one specific one that you can modify to replace the one that's in this radio. So it looks like I'm going to have to do that because my temporary mod has given up the ghost, and I no longer can change the frequency. So that's the show for today. Overall, it looks like the DX-302 does a pretty good job when put up against the much newer Grundig technology, Grundig 750. Again, the Grundig was doing good on that last band, which was 9.3, last frequency 9.395. It was pulling that in perfect, where the 302 was struggling. Again, this is original radio. Possibly some circuits have gotten old. Well, they've gotten old and possibly deteriorated, and it needs to be tuned up. So that's the show for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this show, please give me a thumbs up. Hopefully tomorrow sometime I'll get my internet access back and I can upload this show. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.